Hi everyone, I'm Javi from CYQC and this is Fresh Eyes. Now, something I noticed with a lot of us is we all tend to kind of dismiss the sacrifice of God on the cross. We see that maybe Jesus thought of the burden as just a small little thing compared to how big it actually really was. That's true for a lot of the Bible, right? We see Jesus as like this perfect figure, diba? He's like almighty and all good and all of these things. But the same Bible tells us you have to be like Jesus, huh? What would Jesus do? How can we be as perfect and as almighty and as cool as Jesus is, right? How are we expected to live up to those standards? Diba medyo unfair ng konti? And that's where we have to remember that while yes, Jesus is fully God, super powerful, all that, He's also just as fully human. And that's the part where we can relate to on a much deeper level. But parang like strange, no? How can one person be 100% of one thing and 100% of another thing at the same time, right? Isn't that 200%? The book, The Man Christ Jesus, offers a pretty cool explanation to the dual nature of Christ with a very cool parable. So this parable starts with, king. So this king, very rich. This king can afford the best courses. This king has the best clothes. And he's living his best life. Well, one day this king encounters beggars on the street. This king views their suffering and his heart is moved by it. So he decides to cast off his kingly attire because he wants to empathize with the beggars. He wants to be just like the beggar. And this meant that all of the problems of being a beggar the king had to experience. This looks like when he was hungry, instead of eating a full course meal in the palace, he starved. Or when he was sick, instead of buying the best medical care, right? Because he can afford it, he just suffered through it. He did all of this while, imagine, he was still king, right? Like he still had to make decisions. So the author, Bruce A. Ware, had a quote that says, "In taking on the life of a beggar, many of his kingly qualities could not be expressed, while at the same time living fully and with integrity the life that a beggar lives. Christ Jesus, though in the form of God, did not count equality with God, but emptying himself, he took a servant's form, being born in the likeness of man. He is all powerful, but he did not cling on to like this concept of superpower. Instead, in his humility, he became man. In becoming man, God could not express all of his godly qualities fully, but at the same time, he was still very much human, living a life just like us. You and Jesus are not too far apart. And that's because, yes, Jesus is God, super amazing, almighty, all-powerful. He's still 100% a living, breathing human being. And that means we can relate to him, and he calls us to follow him, to be like him, to serve as our inspiration in improving ourselves every day. And that's what we want to do during this Holy Week. We want to delve deeper into Jesus' humanity and be able to get to understand him at least a little bit better, because after all, he understands us 100%. So now I want to invite all of you to our new Holy Week video series entitled Fresh Eyes, where we take a look at Jesus' example of faith, hope, and love. I hope you all have a blessed weekend, everybody. This is Javi signing off.